let's go over to Lois. Lois has a 77 MGB. Lois, what's it doing to you?
I just bought it, and when we drove it the first time, they told me they put brand new brakes on it, and a new top, and so on and so forth. Well, it didn't have any brakes. I'm pumping and pushing, and almost got killed. But we bought brake fluid, filled it up. It had zero brake fluid. We filled it up, pumped, and everything. So we figured they had never bled the lines, and got it. We hauled it home on a trailer, got it here. And what is the best way to bleed those brakes?
And you don't want to have a bad accident in a MGB. I drove one for many years. Actually, my one of the best cars I've ever had, one of my favorite that I still remember very well, was a 76 MG Midget that I had. That thing only had like 30,000 miles, and I used to absolutely love that car. So as you're talking, you're bringing back some nice memories for me. I drove that car for many years. But brakes, the way that you would want to bleed the brake system, now that master cylinder on that one is pretty small, so it don't hold very much brake fluid. So you're going to have to add it over and over as you're bleeding the brake fluid. Make sure first you put a really good fender cover on there, because when brake fluid gets on paint, it is not good. So have some brake fluid nearby and go to the car. You more than likely, it's much easier when it's on a lift rack, but if not, you need to get over to the bleed valves, and you want to have somebody inside the vehicle pump the brakes up slightly.
But first, you get some PB Blaster on those blade screws and let that rest there for a while. Take your time, because you need that capillary action to get in those threads.
Yeah, that is a good PB Blaster on the bleed valves, so that they won't break when you take them off. And that is a great suggestion, because you don't want those. Sometimes if they've rusted together a little bit, when you try to turn that bleed valve, they can break. So you want to spray that PB Blaster on there, let it set a little bit, and then come back and plan the bleeding procedure. Have your brake fluid ready. Have somebody inside the car just pump the brakes about 2 or 3 times and hold them slightly in the down position, and then just open one of the bleed valves, let the air come out, and then close it back. Do that again.
And looking for any leaks before you bleed it the first time, because you might have wheel cylinder that's weeping out.
Yeah.
So that's before you bleed any of the wheels, give it a good visual, because that brake fluid went somewhere.
That's a very good point there. So you may very well have a leak somewhere, because they probably didn't forget to put brake fluid back in. They more than likely have something that's still leaking. So I would go ahead and just continue to do that until your brake pedal comes up. And once it does, then inspect it again, and then get in a parking lot to test drive it that first time, because you don't want to experience. And then
exactly. Yeah. I learned the hard way. Where are the bleed valves?
Oh, where is the bleed valve?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's on each caliper. Hey, we're gonna need to pull over, and we're gonna get back on the road. So I'm gonna put you on hold just for a second, and we will be right back. And Lois, we were talking about where to find the bleed valves. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, the bleed valves are on each wheel. I'm almost positive that vehicle had the disc brakes. That was close to the years that they started to change. But with that, in any case, it's going to be there at the wheels. It'll be, if I'm not mistaken on that one, it's going to be like might be a 3/8 size or a 5/16 wrench that you would use on that. And again, that tip that Jim gave about the PB Blaster is a very good thing, so that they don't break when you try to turn them. And just open the bleed valves real slowly and let a little bit of fluid come out. And then after somebody pumps the brakes a little bit, open the bleed valve and then close it back, and then do the same thing over again and add a little bit of brake fluid each time to make sure that it don't give out of brake fluid, or you'll get air back in it. Jim, did you have something?
And the way to find them is whether the wheels are on the car or not. Drums always have to stay on, or rotors, whatever you have. But if you look at the body of the car, there's going to be a flexible line that comes from the body of the car and makes the connection to the back of the wheel. And that rubber hose is going to go down to either the wheel cylinder or the caliper, whichever you have, drum brake or disc. And that bleed valve is going to be very close to where that line comes in typically. Isn't that a good rule of thumb?
Yeah, on the
it?
rear, though, I think on that one, it's got one flexible line coming to the center of the axle, and then metal lines go out to the outer.
Right.
And, of course, the front is flexible. But you're right, wherever that – it's going to be near where that brake line goes to that. Now, ordinarily, Lois, I would be telling you that I would recommend just if you hadn't bled brakes before, just taking it somewhere and letting them bleed it. But I got a feeling that you're kind of wanting to enjoy the experience of working on it, so that's one good thing. And the second thing, if you bought a 77 MG, I don't mind telling you, you're going to need to learn how to work on it because they are not they're fun, but they're not low maintenance. I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to learn how to work on that joker. But you'll have a good time with it.
It only has 67,000 miles on it.
Oh, wow.
And, the lady that had it put less than 200 on it. Mm-hmm. Her husband bought it for her because she had one in high school.
Yeah.
And but with children and her working, she just wasn't able to enjoy it. So she said, "I'm going to sell it." And he wasn't happy with her selling it after he'd bought it for her, but she chose to do it, and we ended up being the buyers.
Yeah. I got so many cars I wish I'd have kept, but if I'd have kept them all, I'd have a garage that Lane would be kicking my tail for having because it would be packed full of stuff. We want to stay organized. All right, Lois, that's great. Congratulations on the 77 MGB, and you enjoy that and grab you some good tools.
Call back and tell us how.
Organize your garage real nice, make it look good, and get in there and work on it and enjoy yourself.
One last question.
Sure.
You said 3/8 or 5/16. I thought it was metric. It's not necessarily metric.
You know, on that, for some reason, I don't know why I keep thinking that one was something like a 5/16, 3/8.
Whatever it is, make sure you try to use a box end and that it fits on there just right, no slack.
Yeah, make sure it's a good tight fit. It may be an 8 millimeter.
Sometimes they're almost when you do the conversion, almost the same.
But I would recommend having you gonna need all of those tools in there for when you have a 77 MGB. You're gonna need all of them. You're gonna need metric. You're gonna need American. You're gonna need everything.
Yeah, don't put the tools on the top shelf.
Yeah, not on the top shelf.
Thank
but again, it's kind of fun. It's kind of like some people have gardens. Some people have cars to work on, and you'll have a good time with it. Enjoy it.
All right. Thank you much.
Hey, thank you, Lois. You have a great day.